All right. What is going on, everyone? We are live. Welcome back to the Unconventional Mindset. It is Friday, the best day of the week. My name's Odum, and this is a live stream every Monday, obviously. Every Monday through Friday, we get together right here on YouTube, and we live stream our process, and we get to work on trying to build ourselves a company which is going to generate us $1 million in revenue every single year. And of course, we are working on Piixel, which is our Webflow template and component library. And we're gonna jump right in it today because the past couple of days we've been working on our style guide, which we're kind of wanting to kind of wrap up and bring to, I don't know, just bring it to market, I guess, just kind of ship this product. And today what we're going to continue on doing is, well, I can't even remember exactly where we left off the other day, but basically, I've been taking everything here and putting it into these tables where we can see what all the classes are, and I guess just the different values and properties or whatever that are attributed to that class. So we have things here for all the text colors. We have stuff here for the background colors. We have stuff for margins. We have paddings, text size, text styles, text weight, text alignment. A lot of these things are just kind of utility for text, kind of, to be honest. And even then too, once I get used using this too, I'm gonna see exactly what needs to stay, what needs to go. And of course too, what more importantly, what you guys have to say about it once you guys start using it. And hopefully anyways, and start using it in your projects and seeing what things should be added or taken away. Because my whole thing is just looking at all the other frameworks out there, and they're all really, really good. But for me, the way that I design and the way I like to do things, I like to be as minimal as possible, as clean as possible, and almost like of the approach of not so much even being a developer, but even being from a designer, which is kind of why I think I like to, when I have my class names, I like to spell them out kind of completely, so you get a really good idea of what the actual class is. So for example, like the mass framework, which is really, really good, and I've taken a lot from that framework, but they have things like combo class, it's like CC and then U-MT, like for like margin top and stuff. So not the biggest fan of it. Like I love what it has, and we have that because I've always done things like that with margins. But anyways, I like to have things spelled out. So really kind of like a principle coming from like an actual designer. Ken? welcome to the stream. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Happy Friday. How you doing today? Good to see you. Welcome. Okay. So we got our text. So we have our headings. We have the native Webflow items. And what I did too here, which is different, and I'm not sure exactly if this is the right way to go about it, but I think so, because I think this style guide is going to have two things. Number one, it's going to have this page here, which is going to outline all the actual properties and styles that have been applied to the elements and the classes. But then I'm also going to have another page, which is going to be the visual page. So you can actually just kind of see what's going on. Basically kind of how the style guide, I can probably just bring this up here, how it is right now, where you can actually see, all the H1 elements, all the H elements, native elements. So you can kind of see how things look, right? So this one kind of gives you the idea of how things are behind the scenes. And then we'll have another page which you can just actually look at. And that might even be the forward-facing page. We'll have to see what makes the most sense. Or maybe combine them on one page. I don't know. We'll have to see how we're going to want to actually design this page once everything's all said and done. Okay. So, but the difference here is if you look at this styling here, especially when you get to these elements here, the native elements. So like body, all paragraphs, all links. So I always tend to put default properties on these elements. And actually, now that I'm thinking about this is actually, we need to update this. This is good. So what I've done here in this style guide is actually put what the actual properties and the values are, so people can kind of know what's been done to these different things. And if they wanted to change it, they can change it. So, and then these text here, this like dark purple stuff, the color is not the greatest, but that's kind of what it looks like when you're using a variable. So these ones here for the body, there's the font family, font size, color, background color, the line height, and then the font weight. That's all going to be adjustable in the variables panel. So this here is still a little bit messy. There's still a few things to clean up around here. But we have this section here, 01 typography and 02 layout, where we have the primary font, secondary font, the font size, the line height, the colors for like primary text, secondary text, and then the heading, and then as well the layout for the container. So all these things here, just a minimal amount of things which can be configured right here in the variables panel. So that's what we have for that, and that's what this is kind of showcasing here, that this font family is actually a variable, not just something that's just straight defined, like the font weight, for example. Okay, so we have that, and then we have the buttons as well too. So here's all the different properties on the button. Button is secondary, is reverse, is secondary reverse, and is icon. That just kind of showcases that here. And now what I was working on is the forms and all the different things in the forms. And there's basically a few things. Do I have anything? Yeah, this stuff has just been copied over, so these aren't actually done yet. But the form, so I know for the form, we can actually bring this up. So if we go to, what should we go to? If we go to this project here, this is our actual project, which houses all the actual components that are on Piixel. And this here shows what I've done for the inputs and everything like that here. It has the select, and it has the input, and then it has the checkbox, it has the radio, and then it has the text area. So those are the ones that we have. And I'm just going to see, actually, I'm going to move this over to this page, actually, just so I can be easier for me to go back and forth. So now I can see what the actual styles are. So I'm just going to kind of put them in here. So we'll start there. But I know the form itself is just putting around the main area of the whole form, and it's just to give it a name. And of course, we love to use the FinSuite folders structure, which really helps us identify all the classes that are pertaining to a specific thing. In this case, a form. So like form underscore group, form label, input, everything here is related to a form, obviously. Okay, so the form group. So that is the containing element. Where can I put it? Where can I see it? Let's go back. No, it is right here. Go up to forms. So the form group, let me just inspect this. The form group is what wraps around a label and the actual input. So, and I think what we want to do with that one, I think it's just displayed flex. Let me just take a look at what I have here. Because again, I just want to make sure and triple check to make sure that everything is conforming to what I currently have in the components. Oh, this one I put it in a wrapper, okay, which is fine. Interesting. By the way, I don't know if you remember me. I'm Andy Stevo. I changed my name to Quen because I'm trying new stuff. Oh, Andy. Is the avatar the same? Andy Stevo. I don't know. I don't remember the name specifically. Has it been a while since you've popped in? But anyways, either way, welcome. And I appreciate you being here. And what stuff are you trying out, by the way? Are you just trying out some new? Yeah, I don't know. What are you working on? What's going on in your world these days? Kevin, how's it going? Welcome. Happy Friday. Oh my goodness. It's getting like hotter and hotter in my little den here. It's getting closer to summertime, which is really nice. Okay, what was I doing? All right, the form group. So this one, I don't even know if I want to put any default styling associated with this one. So I do know, I'm just gonna, yeah, that's tough. That one's tough. Because I'm just looking at what I have here in my style guide, or in my components, is I just put a margin on the bottom of them, but that's specifically for what that component is in terms of how the label and the input field is displayed. I guess I can maybe even just show that. So right here. And I actually have to rename it because I called it form field wrapper, as opposed to, I'm gonna have to rename this to form underscore, what do we call it? Group. But yeah, this is wrapping the label and the field. And there are no styling except for putting a margin on it. So yeah, I don't know if we should, yeah, I don't know what we should put here. Probably just nothing, I guess, because there's nothing really in there. Yeah, just because it's wrapping it around. Okay, yeah, sounds very familiar. Yeah, working for a local company in my country as a graphic designer, so I'm trying to promote their stuff. Right on. So this is like you're doing stuff for work, I guess, on this YouTube account. Right on. Okay. So for form label, I think the only thing here is to change the weight and then the font. Putting some margins. Yeah, see, even putting margins on is a little bit dubious. Yeah, so let's actually copy this one. Paste that here. Move that up. All right. So for the label, we're going to go. I'm having issues with my keyboard. It's very, very frustrating, but either keystrokes are registering twice or even 3 times when I press the keys, when I press the key, or it's not registering at all, which is like super, super frustrating. So it makes the keyboard basically unusable. So if it feels like I'm going to go insane and get really, really angry, it's because of my keyboard. Yeah, you're doing that. Cool. Right on. Okay, so we got a font weight, and I think we had, what did we have? Right, and we had color. In color, we wanted it to be neutral, 900, which is just the same color as the headings. Okay. Right, so this one, I think we'll keep it empty for now. All right, form input. So these ones, we have some paddings and some line heights. Right. I wonder if that should actually be a variable. So one of the things that I like to do with forms when I have my inputs is I want them to always be the same height. So I feel like that should actually be a variable. So I think we're going to do that in layout. We're going to go size. We're going to go form. No, not form. We're going to go put input height. Whatever. Just going to give it a number right now. Actually, why did I? No dashes here. Enter. Come on. Stupid keyboard. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to give it a height. And that's going to be input height. Copy this guy. top. Give it a padding, and it's definitely going to need a border color as well, which I do believe is going to be. Actually, this is another thing that I think probably should be variable. What do you guys think? When you have borders, you kind of always want them to be the same color, right? So instead of having to define them everywhere in your project, I think it would make sense to put that again in a variable. I don't know where it'd be under typography or we'll put it just here for now. Well, where should it go? Should it just go under layout? Maybe it should go under layout. We'll say, all right, border color. Oh my goodness, stupid keyboard. Border color, and I think we're going to want that to be. Actually, I don't even know what. I think it's neutral 300. Let me see. Nine. No, it's not that. It's 400. Okay. Perfect. So border color is going to be border color. So it's my hope that this is going to actually be useful for people, that when they take a look at the style guide, number one, you can kind of see all the different elements that are available to you within the template, but also to be able to see exactly kind of what's been done to each of the different classes. So yeah, hopefully this isn't a waste of time. But anyways, we'll keep going. I think it'll be pretty helpful. Do I have a Discord community? No, I don't. I don't have anything community like just quite yet. But that being said, I am developing some things. They're in the works. So there was one thing that I wanted to announce this week, but unfortunately, things just didn't happen where I couldn't announce it this week. Just because I've been really busy with other things. But something is going to be coming in the pipeline, and having some type of Discord or Slack or whatever, I think it might make sense. But there's also like other communities out there as well too. So I don't know if it makes sense to just kind of hop on where those people are chatting, or to develop something specifically for Piixel. I guess it would make sense to develop something specifically for Piixel, just because, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a business and I want to attract people to this business and not, send them to somewhere else. So is that something you'd be interested in? If so, let me know. Then yeah, I'll just really think about putting something together. Oh my goodness. It looks like my stream is like really delayed. So I don't know how things are looking here for you guys, but yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like my stream looks really delayed, and then my keyboard's not working. This whole computer's going haywire today. I don't know what's going on. Okay. So hopefully the comments and my interactions are not too delayed here. Okay. So we were looking at the form input. We got the height. Right. And we want the actual color as well. And the color for the form input, that dictates the color of the actual text when you're typing into the form. So I think we keep that as default. Let me see. Yeah, color. Shoot. Don't do that. Yeah, I think so. Border color. All right. A couple things I'll just add here just before I border style. Border radius. Actually, do I want to give a radius? I think no. Shoot, I don't know if I should give radius or not. I'm gonna leave it in for now, but then we'll see. You should have a Discord because people want to follow up with what you're doing constantly, and in my opinion, plus sharing ideas would be necessary. Yeah, yeah, it makes it easier to actually share ideas, especially than dealing with this kind of communication as well too. So I agree. Okay, well, thanks for the input, and yeah, I'll try to get something going sooner rather than later for that. Because yeah, I agree. I think it'll be a really good idea, especially once I kind of launch the style guide and then kind of really start my whole marketing efforts for the whole thing. Having something like that, a place for people to go, yeah, I agree, would be really, really good. So thank you. Yeah, I'll get, I'm gonna write this down actually, just to make sure that I do remember, although I'm pretty sure I'm gonna remember because it's kind of always on my list of things of, you know, building communities and whatnot. Although I'm not sure about Discord versus Slack though, but I'm not sure which one's going to be the best one to do. All right. Okay. So, okay, we got border radius, border style, border, what's it called? It's called, border width, right? Border width. That one we want 1 pixel. Okay. And we also have background, come on, background color. Off to work. Well, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it, and thank you for the input too. That's really really helpful. So yeah, have a good one and enjoy the weekend. We'll catch you next time. Background color. Oh, I think, am I frozen? Shit. And my Webflow crashes like all the time now too. Text form. All right. Background color is white. Oh my goodness. I'm going to throw this keyboard across the room. And we have a margin of 0. So the inputs they have, I think they have margins on the bottom set to 10 pixels, which is kind of annoying. So we reset that. Border styles. And whoops, no, not line height. Font size. Don't know if we need to define this one, but just in case there's some weird browser issues, it might be a good thing to do here. And keep the same line height, or no, line height. Right, I want this here. All right. And I think that's it for our input. Although there is the placeholder color. For the placeholder color, hang on a second. Let me see what we can. I mean, I guess we can just say something like, oh, that looks a little strange, but yeah, maybe something like this. And then our placeholder is neutral. Oh my goodness. And I think it's neutral 500, if I'm not mistaken. Let's verify that. Yep, neutral 500. Okay. Perfect. So that's the input. And the difference in text area. The text area, I think the only difference is really what we put forth for the height. So we just changed the height and everything else stays the same. And this one I have 14. That seems quite a bit. Let's just go 10 here. I think I might change that in all the other ones. Right. And then for our select, what are the differences? This one I only changed the color. Why would I change the color? Oh, right. Right, I actually don't think that's a good idea. Okay. So we don't have anything there for now. And form checkbox. So the thing with the checkbox, there's the checkbox which houses the label and the actual checkbox itself. The icon and then the label. So generally, I think that one is probably flex. Yeah, it's definitely flex. Display flex. Our direction is horizontal, which I guess is row. Align. We have a column. We have gap. Is it called column gap? Can't remember now. Let me look at my actual CSS. Yeah, column gap, not gap column. Column gap. Whoops. What did I press? 11. 0.5. Flex direction row. Do we want to align items? I don't think we want to align the items to the center. So, what do we have? Yeah, that one's a little bit. Yeah, this one's a little bit wonky here. Okay, so. We're actually going to have to take a closer look at this one. Padding is 0. At some point, I wonder if this would be good to put this whole thing and have this, all of these values and everything be controlled in the database somehow. And then I could just update this thing like in a spreadsheet. I think that would be really, really cool. But we can worry about that later. So basically right now, that's kind of the only thing that we need to really worry about. We don't want any paddings. So yeah, we definitely don't want to. We don't want to justify, and we don't want to align anything. Oh yeah, we want to align them center. So that way, let me see. We want to make sure that they line up perfectly. So that's, yeah, line item center. So that's what we want. Right. But then we want them to the left, and that's just by default. Okay. So that's our checkbox, and then we have our checkbox item, which is going to be... Yeah, so this is where we make a little bit, we do a little bit here to make our checkboxes look like they do in our style guide, right? Or in pixel pieces. So let me just bring this up here just so you guys can see. So if we go to components, let's go to a form here and just view a form, right? Just so we have them looking like this, so that they're just not, they're just a little bit more fun than your default checkbox. So it's a starting point for people to be able to design them in any way that makes sense for them. So, but writing it out here, it's funny how when you're used to, you get so used to Webflow that you just go on this panel here and you can just start just pressing a few buttons here or whatever, and then it just kind of designs it. But then we have to go back to like actually writing it out. It's like, oh yeah, how do you write that out again? All right, so yeah, so getting back to our little checkbox icon. So we want our margin to be 0. We're looking at width. And then we also want to set a minimum width as well, so it doesn't change at all. And we got height, and then a minimum height as well. And we give it, need a border radius. Let's copy this one here. But that's 0. We don't want any border radius on this one. Not on the checkbox. On the radio, obviously we do. And then we're going to give it some border styles. Can we copy? Probably copy some from here. Yeah, border width. Copy that. Oops, that didn't work. Border style. Copy. Oh, I did select. That would be why. Jeez. It's like every keystroke is doing something different. Keyboard. Okay. Nope. Delete that. border radius, border width, border style, and then we want to give it a color, of course, border color. And it's going to be border color. Perfect. So that's what we have for radials now, or for checkboxes. And I'm pretty sure the radio is basically the same thing. Except for maybe the radius, which I think is by default. Okay. Everything. Oh, actually, this one's a little bit different. This one's a little bit different. Okay, interesting. Okay. So we got form, checkbox. And then we got the checkbox icon, right? Oh shit, did I mess this up? Oh, I think I messed this up. I think I put this in the wrong spot. Oh my goodness. Yeah, all these are supposed to be in this form, the checkbox icon. Yeah, I put them in the wrong spot. Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry guys. It's I got so many screens open. Oh, annoying. Rolando, greetings from the land of goat, roast meat and Fifi governors. Fifi, I'm not sure what that means, but I feel like it can't be good. The goats and roast meat sounds delicious to me. Happy Friday. How you doing today? All right. Shit. So I screwed this up. So let me... yeah, I guess... Yeah, let me just put them where they're supposed to go. So I think I can... Can I cut this? I don't think I can cut it. Maybe I can here. All right. And it's not pasting. Did it not paste? Oh, there it goes. Ugh. Brent, Discord community is a great idea. Also great to receive feedback on pixel pieces. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so yeah, that's what Quen, Q-E-N, Ken, not Ken. Anyways, that's what he was saying, and I agree with you as well too. So so yeah, we'll get that going sooner rather than later. So Fifi's governors, is that like an actual term, or is that just like a derogatory term you might call those governors, or they're actually called that? So they are junior officials, whatever, who enter politics based on money and are very conceited, or narcissistic. Yeah, very greedy and self-serving. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you definitely see me on the inside there. Cool. Yeah, you probably. I got lots of feedback to give you. No, that's awesome. I appreciate that. So, question based on that, then, Brent. Discord or Slack, or does it matter so much to you? Because that's the one thing that's been in my mind. Do I do Discord or do I do Slack? And I know there's pros and cons to both of them. Obviously, the biggest con with Slack is that it's. I mean, it's free up to, like, I think you can keep 10,000 messages, then everything gets kind of deleted. But of course, Discord itself is just kind of free. It would be really cool at some point because I know like I've used Slack before for work, and I really enjoy using Slack, and I know Discord is very, very similar. I've actually never used it, but I mean it's almost the same thing. But if you'd be able to bring everybody on and somehow create some type of community where we can actually just pay for those users, it's just so expensive though. Slack is really, really expensive. So Discord is to create community. Slack is to communicate with your team. Yeah. So I guess it does, like I hear what you're saying. And that definitely makes a whole lot of sense. But in terms of the functionality, in terms of creating, channels and places where people can talk about different things, they're very, very similar. But yeah, Discord to create community. So let me, Discord, a place to talk and hang out. I think they do have paid plans, don't they? Where you can actually pay for this. But anyways, so Brent's saying, I only use Slack for work, to be honest, and use Discord for other communities as well. Discord is also easier to hop on voice calls. Is it really? Interesting. Okay. That's really cool. Okay. So, you don't have to convince me to go with something that's free. Yeah, but I think, yeah, we'll go with Discord. I'll do some very, very small like due diligence, because I think too, if I'm not mistaken, I think Reloom Library uses Slack, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. All right. So, okay. Sorry. Getting back into this. I'm looking at this. Everything just looks like it's really like there's something off, that I'm cutting and pasting something really, really off here, but okay. I think we're okay. So border radius, it's not on the checkbox. Throw this in here. Paste that there. Don't use School. Yeah, their UI is terrible. I've seen, like, I logged into School because Alex Hormozy, I guess, I don't know if he's one of the founders or he's just investing in it. That being said, too, I have this idea. I've had this for like a couple years now of actually creating something that's very similar to that. But anyways, you snooze, you lose, I guess. There's so many things to create. But I still have my own ideas that are different than School. Anyways, yeah, but I saw it, and yeah, so he invested in it. And I looked at it. I'm like, this just looks terrible. Like, I wouldn't even want to create a community in that, just because the experience is like just like horse manure. I don't want to crap on anybody, because I mean, like, look at what they're doing. They're obviously super, super successful, especially compared to me. But that being said, yeah, just hire a couple UI guys to get in there and just clean it up a little bit. But that's me being a pretentious designer and being like, oh, this doesn't look good or whatever. But yeah, no intentions of using School. But I do have an intention of creating my own platform that could be used to build a community that has exactly the things that I want. More of like Circle. I don't know if you guys have heard of Circle. These guys. So I really like these guys. So you can create this platform. Again, you can have video calls and just kind of all your stuff on there. So it's really, really good. However, I guess I'll just even say what my idea is. Whatever. If anybody runs with it, then that's fantastic. But my idea, of course, this is, again, gets pretty expensive. And I think, do they even charge for, do they charge fees for memberships? I don't know if they have membership fees on this. But anyways, they have a bunch of really good offerings. But my whole idea is to create something that's very, very similar to Circle, but mix it in with Ghost. So what I love about Ghost is that it's completely open source, and you can just have it for free and then install it on your own servers, and you don't have to pay them a dime. And the only thing you have to do is, and then they don't even take any fees for transactions. So it's just whatever you set up for Stripe. So imagine a community building software where you could install it on your own server, you make it really easy to do, And then you can pick and choose whatever modules or whatever you want to have and install in with your community. And then those are what's available to you. And then it's for free. And then if you want to go the paid route or you want help, then we can have it where, like on these guys, they have their own pricing where they just host it for you on their own servers. So that's kind of what I'm envisioning to build. And I would love to build something like that. I think it would be phenomenal. I think it would do really, really well. But I don't know. Anyways, so looks promising. Not sure if you have heard of it, especially if you want to put a paywall behind your community. For school, is that what you're talking about? Yeah, I definitely know school. Heard of it. But yeah. So Rolando, I missed a few days of your stream, so I have a question. Why did you return to Piixel Pieces if you were supposed to be creating the content marketing agency? Yes. Okay. I'll talk about that in just a second. Like Hoop, or like that's WHOP. That's an actual, I thought you meant like, maybe somebody already does it. A marketplace for really cool internet products. No, I never heard of this before. Entrepreneurial communities and softwares to help you earn online. What is this? Sports picks. Okay. What the hell? What is this? It's a marketplace. So I guess you just post your stuff on here. So like there's business things. What? Get access. So this is where you can post up like your own courses and you just put it on here and then you just go in and you just kind of pay. What are they using on this back end? This looks like it's, no, this looks like it's, is this Stripe or Lemon Squeezy? Looks like it's Stripe. Interesting. What is this? Sounds interesting. Yeah, I don't know if it'll work. We'll never know. Stripe backend, I think. Yeah, it definitely looks like Stripe. But Lemon Squeezy looks very, very similar. Oh, you just take a quick look here and see what we got. Yeah, it's Stripe. There, it's Stripe. Oh, you can't see. I think my face is blocking blocking the source code there, but yeah, it's Stripe. Is there start selling? People like you make over 1 million per year. So I guess it's like a marketplace for scale your business with apps. What? We help you get new customers. The platform we wish we had growing up. I wish they didn't. Maybe because I don't know, but everything seems. Why can't I click on here? This is interesting. I have no idea what this site is all about. So maybe, they don't do the best job in terms of really saying what the hell it is that they do. But yeah. Anyways, interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I'll have to look into that. I don't know if there's anything that I could be of value for here in terms of being able to put anything up on here. I have no idea. All right. Well, let's bookmark that anyways. Just to go back to it at some other point. Okay. Back to business. Oh, no. Rolando, your question. Okay. So, all right, let's full screen this for a second. So yeah. So why am I back into Piixel Pieces instead of doing the marketing? So I don't know exactly when what was it going on in my mind? There's been a couple things. So when I was designing and building out the things that I wanted for the marketing agency, specifically going for like targeting academics, I really think it's a good idea, and I really think that it could work. But I was thinking more and more in terms of what my long-term vision is for like my life and where I want to be. And running a marketing agency and helping like academics and doing that kind of stuff, it just wasn't resonating with me. And it's not something that I could see myself wanting to do long-term, because my heart is just really not in it. So I'm always really kind of thinking about what gives me the most pleasure, what gives me the most, I mean, not so much pleasure, but what gives me the most, what's the right word? Like the greatest sense of purpose, but also a sense of accomplishment and something that I like enjoy what I'm doing. And I really love teaching. Like when I was at university, I loved being a TA. I loved talking to students and having them have their aha moment whenever I was, teaching or explaining a concept or whatever. So I really, really enjoyed that. And then with Piixel, I have the opportunity to create something where I can take the knowledge that I have. Like, again, I'm not the best web designer, developer out there by any stretch of the imagination. But for somebody that's new to the game, I feel like I have a lot that I can teach them. And then that could really provide value to people. And then it'll provide me with, I think, a really good sense of purpose. So I kind of made the decision that, number one, I want to focus kind of on one thing so I can put all my energy towards making that one thing work and be successful. And I found throughout my whole career is that I've always had my hands in multiple different buckets and trying to do multiple different things. And it's like 30% here, 30% here, 30% there, 10% there. And I could never just get any of those things to really kind of take off. So I think I kind of took a step back and said, okay, you know what? I'm going to focus 100% on this one thing. Even for now, for just like 6 months, I have that runway. Let's see if I can actually get this thing off the ground and getting it to work the way that I want it to. So that's why I've kind of made the decision to just really, really focus on Piixel Pieces and focus on like growing the business and like growing myself as well too. Because one of the things that is really a motivation for me is to reach this point of financial freedom where I don't necessarily have to worry about what I'm going to do every day in order to put food on the table to take care of my kids. I don't want to be a crazy, huge millionaire or what have you, but I just want to be able to have a business that can generate enough revenue so that I don't have to worry about, the day-to-day stuff. And then I can focus on continuing to growing the business and putting value out there to people. So people could, learn websites, learn how to make their own agencies. And if they want to do it themselves, then they could, get that financial independence and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, that was maybe a little bit long, but that's kind of the I don't know, it's kind of like the long story of it. Yeah. So I hope that answers kind of that question. So yeah, I really like it. I really think I could do a good job. I really think it's going to work. And the stuff with the academic institution and just catering to that audience is just not my cup of tea right now. And of course, I know that I could work because I've been involved in it since 1999. But it's just, I don't know. It's like my fallback plan in case this doesn't work. This might be a bit off. Just let me know, Rolando, if that kind of answers your question there. I hope it does. Brent, this might be a bit off topic, but I do think pre-built components for Framer sites has a huge demand as well right now. Seeing more and more founders wanting their sites to be built on Framer. Yeah, that's 100. I love where you're going with that in the whole idea of not putting all your eggs in one basket. Like I don't want Piixel to be only a Webflow like product or agency or like company. Like I want it to be more than that. So yes, building stuff for Framer. I think you're on the nail like 100%. Is that Piixel is a place to just find the right products for the tools that make sense for you. Whether you're a Webflow guy or a Framer guy, or you're a Ghost person or WordPress or whatever, you just want to have the tools you want to be able to be a better web designer, a web developer, or freelancer or whatever. Piixel is the place to come for that. So yeah, 100%. I think that would be really, really good to do. Great idea for the next Piixel Pieces product. Yeah. So, but the question is, of course, obviously it's just the time it takes, so let's get ourselves out there. At least we'll focus on Webflow, get everything really, really good with Webflow, maybe get a couple templates out the door, up our component game a little bit, start getting a few actual clients. We're still waiting for our first paid client. Let's get that down. And then once we establish ourselves, I think once I get to the point where I'm getting, probably like 10 clients a month kind of thing, or 10 new customers a month, then we could really start to see about where things could go, because then that's $2,500 a month. Then it's like, okay, now I don't have to worry about, putting the food on the table. We're getting some traction. We're getting feedback from the people that are in the community. Let's see where we can go from here. So I'm super, super excited to see where things are going. And Rolando, just super excited to just focus on the one thing here moving forward. So so that's kind of where that happened. Because I remember I was doing the design and I was thinking about it, and I didn't want to spend time doing a lot of designs for this whole agency thing. And so I just had that very simple landing page. And then Kevin made a really good observation, which was totally true. And he was just like, you're talking about being able to tell amazing stories for academics, for researchers, and getting them known, and just basically turning really complex science into plain English that people can understand. That's really great. But like, what story are you even telling with your own website? Because the website itself wasn't really telling so much of a story. It was just like, hey, here's just a list of facts. So, and then to take the time though that it takes to build a site that would be that good, that I'd be super, proud of in terms of, hey, this is telling even my story. It just takes such a long time. And I just felt disinterested in doing it. But that's one of the things too, when I do work with, like academics and research groups, that's why, the budgets are really, really high, because it takes a lot of time to do this kind of stuff. It's not just, hey, here's a template, boom, spit it out. Like, that's the stuff that really takes a whole lot of time. So, right. So, in fact, it makes sense. Please focus on creating educational, simple, concise, and short content. Then you sell the course. 100%. And that's what we worked on a couple of days ago, where I put the whole framework for the course. That's going to be how to build your very own Reloom library / Piixel Webflow component library. That's going to be a whole course on itself, and then that's going to be available for free. But all those things are going to be put into bite-sized chunks as well, to put into short-form content. And there's a whole lot of stuff in the pipeline too for short-term content, which is short form. That's the word. Short-form content. So that's in the pipeline. And I guess what I'm trying to do here right now, this week and maybe next week as well too, is just get the components are at a stage where I'm happy with them. And I just want to get the style guide done, because that's a really important thing to have done, so that people can just download the style guide and just start from there. And then that's when the content is really going to start pouring in. And that leads into, Brent, what you're saying here. Are you still actively marketing your product? So it's on hold for now, until this style guide and just everything is just kind of in place, until I'm kind of like ready to go. It's like, okay, everything's finalized. We're going to start going on product hunt. We're going to start doing all these things. We're going to start making videos. And then it's just going to be basically mostly just generating content for marketing purposes once we kind of get our foundation kind of ready to go. So, So no, I'm happy to talk about this. These questions for another day. Cool. Makes sense. Yeah. All right. So let's get back into it. Where were we? Okay. What is it? 11:10. So I don't have too much time. I think I have maybe 10 or 20 minutes left. Maybe a little bit less than that, because we do have to do some stuff with the family. I have the in-laws are in town. I was going to play some sound effects, but I don't think I'll play some sound effects. But so we're going to have to do some stuff with them later on this morning, or late morning, or what have you. So that's where I have to be. Anyways, okay, so maybe let's finish this form stuff. So if we can get this done, we can get it done. And so Rolando, just even from you asking me that question and me just kind of talking about it, like I can just feel myself kind of getting excited. So that's where I'm kind of like, my gut is telling me that I'm going in the right direction. Whether it works or not and whether it makes money, that's a whole nother question. But I'm going to try, you can be damn sure I'm going to try every single possible thing that I can do to make sure that this is a success. And again, a success for me is at least to just make enough money so I don't have to starve, kind of thing. And then we could go from there. No, it's not that bad, but thank you. I appreciate that. No, it's just like in the movies. No, they're not that bad at all. They're great people. So it's all good. It's all good. Okay. All right, form checkbox stuff. Let's see. It's funny too because it kind of reminds me of something that I do to Andrea. Like every time it's her birthday, because when you get a certain age, it's like, okay, every day is just like, or every birthday is like, okay, that's one less year that I have in my life. So instead of saying like happy birthday, I just send out like a my condolences card. So it's like, oh, my condolences, you're getting older. So sorry to hear about the loss of another year. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I tend to do things a little bit differently sometimes. And it's funny. Okay, so right, checkboxes, and the icons, right. So the icons, right? They have the margins, they have the border width. Border style, they need to have a border color. So let's copy that. And let's put that in there. Okay. Margin, border style. And radius, 0, right? Height, margin. Okay, that's good. So this thing here, the checkbox though. Yeah, margin and padding needs to be 0. We need to have column gap. Yeah, it's aligning into the center. Right. Because there's a checkbox and then there's the label that's in the form checkbox. Right, and we have the form label right here. Which okay, perfect. Okay, we're on the right track. So, and I think that's it. And I think for the radio, yeah, we're basically doing the same thing. For the radio, let me just check. Yeah, so let's copy this one and let's move this table. No, we want to move it down, or this column, I guess, in the table. So we're going to call this form radio. Which one? Oh my goodness. Let's delete that. Let's delete this one too. And then we're going to copy this one. And let's move this one below. No, below. I didn't do that below. Form radio icon. Oh, hang on, Rolando. I see your comment here. Let me just finish this thought here. Form radio icon, and the only difference here is that there's a border radius, but on that radius, it's already set at 50%, so we're good. We don't have to do anything there. Although, why do I have padding here? Right. Okay. We do need to have margin 0. And the width, height. We don't need a border radius because it's already set to 50% by default. And that's it. That's all we need. Okay. So let me undo all this stuff in here. Okay. So I think that's what we have for forms. Okay. All right. So my wife and I bring up the joke that we make the candles on the cake with the number of years since each of us graduated from university. With the number of years since each of us graduated. So is it just, I guess then from that, it would be less candles than the number of years of your life as opposed to when you graduate university. So I guess it's a way to ease the blow of having all those candles on the cake. I love it. It's one of the good things of having a good partner that you can kind of count on and grow on and yeah, and just kind of build a life with. And you get all these inside jokes and inside quirks that only you two are kind of privy to. So that's always cool. I know in today's climate, there's really I've tired of people not getting married and all that kind of stuff too. And I totally get it. I totally understand. I don't even know what it would be like to date in today's world. But to be able to find that special someone, I think is really, really quite something. Instead of the years completed. Sorry, instead of the years completed in terms of the years complete. But yeah, I think I hear what you're saying. You just the number of years since each of you graduated university. So instead of if university you graduated like 5 years ago, you have 5 candles. Instead of saying, oh, I'm like 35 years old. Instead of having all those candles, I think that's what you're saying here, which is funny. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I like that. Just celebrate different. Yeah. And that's the thing too. It's funny since Andrew and I finished university. I guess we finished at different times, even though we started at the same time. Well, I guess I did a master's too. So, but yeah, geez, that was. In fact, did we get even married before we finished university? When did we get married? No, I think we got married. Then I went back to school. Sorry, I'm totally going off the off the deep end here. I'm just kind of thinking of that. That was fun. Yeah. It's been 22 years and your wife 20. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Because I'm just thinking now too, because I graduated my bachelor's in 2005, 2004, 2005. So are we close to the same age? We might be close to the same age. Well, you said it's 22 years, so that's even a little bit longer than me. But yeah, it's been 20 years too since my wife. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, we're getting too old. We're getting too old. All right. So I like this. Okay, so we got our form. So we have our form, which is our main wrapper for the entire form. We have our form group, which is what sits, which is what the label and the form, the input field sits in. So I don't know if it makes sense to put that in a flex. I think it might, and then have it displayed column, but then people could easily switch that to if they want it, if they want the label and then the field kind of side by side, right? So we might want to do that. But then the label itself, it has a font weight and then it has a color, make it darker. And the form input field themselves, we give them padding. We want them to have a specific line height, which is the input height, right? Then this is line height for the text. We have a text for the color. And then we have the placeholder color, the background color, and then the border color, and then the border radius as well too. If we're going to have that, we might remove that, but we'll keep that there for now. And then the form, if it's text area, we just need to change the height. If it's select, we don't need to do anything, but we might want to. People might want to do things with that. So I guess that class is there. Well, so if there's not doing anything, then what's the point of having it? That's another question. And then the checkbox, yeah, displayed flex. Center everything, have a column gap, no padding. Yep, perfect. And then the icon and the label is inside it. Perfect. And then the icon, it's 1 by 1, no border radius, 1 pixel width, solid, and then the color. And radio, the same thing. The icon, we just don't have a border radius because it's going to be set by default by Webflow. You're 44. We're the same age, I think. Yes, I was born in 1980. April in 1980, actually. So yeah, we're the same age. Well, I guess maybe depending on what month you were born, you might be older or younger, but we're both the same age. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. 1980. Those were the days. Growing up in the 90s. All right. So October 1980. That's the year my wife was born. She was an October baby, 1980 as well. Cool. So I'm a little bit older than you. That's funny. Okay. So that's good. Okay. So let's look back at everything. So we have our colors here. So I know I'm scrolling a little bit fast here, but we have our colors. We have our background colors. Well, the text colors in the backgrounds. We have our margins. We have our padding. We have our text size, text styles, text weight, alignments. We have our headings. We have our native Webflow elements. We have our buttons, form, and we have our utility classes, especially for kind of displays. Then we have our easy layouts. Then we have our grid. And I changed it to grids, not so much for layouts. The thing, I think at least initially, I want to avoid putting any kind of layout stuff within this style guide because there's so many different ways that you can do layouts. And I want to keep it, and chances are you're going to just do your layout, your own thing when you're creating your website. So I don't think putting anything in here makes the most sense, at least at this stage of the game. We'll kind of see how things play out and how things evolve here. So the only thing that's missing is we need to do one for rich text. And so we didn't get to that today, but I'll get that done either later tonight or over the weekend, and then that'll be done. And then we'll just have to restyle this and redesign it to make it look really, really nice. And yeah, then it'll be good to go. So yeah, that's good. We're coming along. We are coming along. So I'm happy with the way that this is looking right now. Okay, so time to go spend some time with the family. Could you make a video explaining what the freelance web developer market is like in your area, or like a type of vlog? So when you say area, are you specifically saying like how big of an area? Are you talking about regional or like on the city level, or on the regional level, like my whole province, or like Atlanta, Canada, or just even Canada in general? I can certainly talk about my experiences with it. Yeah, but I mean, I certainly can. Just kind of maybe let me know a little bit more of what kind of stuff you're looking for, and what kind of information that you'd want to have in this video, like in terms of how many people are looking for designers, how many people are looking for websites. Just kind of what is, or just talk about my experience. I can certainly do that. Yeah, I can certainly talk about that. And the thing is too is, I'll talk about it because a lot of my experience came when I was first starting out came from Ontario. So that, like Southern Ontario. So that's where I spent most of my time kind of cultivating myself as a freelancer, as a designer. And then a lot of the stuff then came to using that stuff to get myself good positions within academia, doing web design within that environment. And then now, of course, when I came here in Halifax, most of the stuff too is related to the academic community, but also to some of the local entrepreneurs here as well too. So there's been some of that as well. The one thing that I know I can't really speak to, at least right now, is that I haven't really had to do any kind of on the ground marketing works, like just even cold calling companies to see what their level of interest is in hiring somebody to design their website. So I've never had to go down to that level. So I know I can't really speak to like that other than what I've heard from other people and what people are talking about in terms of what they're doing and like what they're doing with other companies and who they're hiring and whatnot. So yes, I will put that in I know I have some of that ideas and that content that I want to put out there as part of my videos. But this is a little bit more specific, so I'll definitely talk to this. So sorry, let me just make a note here. For freelance. Experience. So, We really need to touch base offline. I think because I think we can have some interesting conversations. Because there's many professionals who are looking to leave Mexico due to the political changes that are taking place here in Canada and looking at Canada as an option. So I can tell you right now, me being an entrepreneur and being here in Canada, and I'm looking to like leave Canada because the same thing, the political climate here is not good. I would not recommend to anybody to come to Canada to try to start a business. There's one thing that the government just announced. They just announced it, so who knows if they're going to do it in the federal budget, is that they're changing capital gains taxes from 50% to 67% for anything above $250,000. And like that type of tax is like ridiculously insane. And in terms of the political climate, like it is very difficult here, like for small businesses. It's not as good as it used to be. It's very, very tough. And a lot of small businesses were really, really hurt during the pandemic. Or a lot of people were forced to close down just because of policies and whatnot. So we should definitely have a discussion. And the thing is too, is especially here in Canada, a lot of people don't expect people to to work face to face. So if you want to just target people in Canada to do business with, you don't have to be local. You can be remote. People are very, very comfortable now just hopping on Zoom calls, whatever, with people and doing business with people all over the world. So as long as you can deliver the results where you're from, it doesn't really matter. So you don't have to be in Canada in order to do business with Canadians. So yeah. So they are crazy. There are too many taxes. We better go to, is that Spain? Spain, which is 42%. Yeah. So again, taxes, it's a very, that's a whole complex thing. There's all kinds of different things that you can do to get around it, to minimize it. Because again, for corporate tax, though I'll say, if you're incorporated, the first $250,000 that you make as a corporation, you only pay 15% tax on the profits that you make, or on the income that you generate. Sorry, not the profits, on the income that you generate, minus your tax credits as well too, which is really, that's pretty good. But then the problem is how do you get money from your business and extract it out to yourself personally so that you can pay yourself? Because then you got to pay taxes on top of that. And that's a whole nother thing. What tax bracket are you going to be there once you take out that money? And then there's of course the tax you pay on everything you buy and sell, which is 15% tax. So yeah, there's lots of taxes. I mean, this is something that I've been thinking about a lot. I'm trying to figure out what's going to be the best corporate structure for my business and my company, to be kind of like Andrew Henderson, the nomad capitalist, of just kind of go wherever you're treated best and figure out what's the best structure. I mean, if you wanted to just register a company, a corporation, and if you had the ability to move, I mean, Dubai, in one of the tax-free zones, you're paying 0% tax. So that's a pretty good place. That's a pretty good deal in terms of tax. But anyways, buying invoices. Did I misspeak, or did I say something silly? Buying invoices. Sorry, I don't. So maybe I said something. Maybe I misspoke somewhere. I don't know if I was buying any invoices. Anyways, but yeah. So Canada, yeah. And the thing is, well, too, we got to go. Time to go. All right, I got to go. Anyways, we'll talk more about this at some point in the near future. Okay, I got to go. I got to run. I'm gonna get in trouble. So don't want to get in too much trouble. Thank you so much, Rolando, Brent. Thank you so much for stopping in and for all your comments. I really, really appreciate it. Great conversation. And Kevin, Quen, thanks as well for dropping by. Really appreciate it. Have yourself a great... Oh, there's one last comment here. It's just that you said how they get money so that they could use it personally. And how they get... Right, I see what you mean. I think I know what you mean. Yeah, just in terms of where the stuff, the invoices and where the money is coming from. Yeah, lots of different strategies in order to try to kind of avoid taxes and stuff like that. So legally, of course, as the good way. Anyways, thank you again so much, everyone. Have yourself a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you here again on Monday for a brand new live stream. All right, guys, take it easy.